Okay, so these are tricky. So one way you can do these rhythm things is figure out where your beat is going to be. So if you have a metronome, say, and you're setting it to, in this case, this one, when I was messing around with it, I set it to 50. So there's basically 50 beats per minute. So there's one click every slightly slower than once every second. So if the metronome is clicking that way, and there's 2 beats in a measure, I should hear a click here and a click here. And then in this measure, a click here and a click here. Like that. So like on the second line, let's see if I can mark them as they happen. So that's one way you could try it, is you could just try hitting the measure or tapping it with a pencil, because that requires less movement. So it's easier to keep the time than clapping where you have your hands apart and then you have your hands together again. So let's try it. So I would try that this week, just as a start, because the rhythms just get harder from here out. They don't get any easier. So for now, I would say this week, try clicking or tapping every time, figuring out where the downbeat is for each set of notes. And the downbeat is the click of the metronome is your downbeat. So if our metronome is, you're going to figure out where each downbeat is in your measure. And you can either mark it with a little pencil or you can tap it with your finger on the paper. But that's a good preliminary step to helping with rhythm issues, is if you can identify the downbeat for each measure and mark it, then you can fill in the rhythms in between. So for this week, let's try finding the downbeat and make sure that you know where the downbeat is for each measure. And you can go back and do it on other pages. You can go pages forward and do the same thing. It's all super helpful. When I have a measure in a piece that I'm playing and I'm having trouble with the rhythm, especially if it's syncopated, because those are really hard for me, I will go through and I will actually mark on my music where the downbeat of the metronome is going to be. And then I start breaking the rhythms down from there, and it makes it easier. So try that and let me know how it goes, and hopefully that will help.